Africa is no longer the continent of potential, it is becoming the continent of digital acceleration. Across cities like Lagos, Nairobi, and Cairo, a silent revolution is unfolding, powered not by oil wells or diamond mines, but by code, connectivity, and creativity. Africa's digital economy is exploding, and it is reshaping the continent's future in ways few predicted just a decade ago. For years, global headlines about Africa focused on poverty, political instability, or resource extraction. But beneath those narratives, something transformative was happening. A young, fast-growing population, over 60% under the age of 25, was coming online. Smartphones were becoming cheaper, internet penetration was rising, and suddenly, millions of Africans were connected not just to each other, but to the global economy. This digital awakening did not happen overnight. It began with one of the most revolutionary innovations ever to emerge from the continent: mobile money. In 2007, a telecommunications company launched a simple but powerful idea in Kenya: M-Pesa. The concept was straightforward: allow people to send and receive money using basic mobile phones. But the impact was revolutionary. At the time, millions of Africans had no access to traditional banks. Opening a bank account required paperwork, travel, and fees that many rural citizens simply could not afford. But almost everyone had a phone. With M-Pesa, a farmer in a remote village could receive payment instantly. A mother working in Nairobi could send money home in seconds. Small businesses could operate without cash risks. This innovation didn't just improve convenience, it fundamentally changed financial inclusion. Today, mobile money services operate across dozens of African countries. In nations like Kenya, Ghana, and Tanzania, mobile transactions account for a significant share of GDP. Africa now leads the world in mobile money adoption. What started as a workaround for weak banking infrastructure became a global case study in digital leapfrogging. Instead of building thousands of bank branches, Africa skipped directly to digital finance, and that was just the beginning. Following the mobile money wave, a new generation of fintech startups emerged. Companies like Flutterwave and Chipper Cash began building digital payment infrastructure that connects African businesses to global markets. African entrepreneurs identified a major problem: cross-border payments on the continent were slow and expensive. Intra-African trade was fragmented. Sending money between neighboring countries could be more complicated than sending it to Europe or the United States. Fintech startups stepped into that gap. They built APIs, digital wallets, and seamless payment platforms that enabled African e-commerce to grow. Investors took notice. Venture capital funding flowing into African tech surged dramatically over the past decade, with fintech capturing the largest share. The message was clear: Africa was no longer just a consumer of foreign technology, it was building its own. As digital payments expanded, so did online marketplaces. Platforms like Jumia pioneered large-scale e-commerce across multiple African countries. Despite logistical challenges, poor road infrastructure, complex addressing systems, and customs barriers, online retail began to take root. In major cities, urban middle classes started ordering electronics, fashion, and groceries online. Meanwhile, small merchants used social media platforms to sell products directly to customers. WhatsApp commerce became a common phenomenon. Instagram storefronts flourished. Africa's e-commerce sector faces challenges, but it also benefits from unique strengths. A young, mobile-first population is comfortable transacting digitally. Many Africans skipped the desktop computer era entirely and entered the internet age through smartphones. That mobile-first dynamic shapes how businesses design their platforms: lean, lightweight apps optimized for low-bandwidth environments. In Nairobi, the nickname Silicon Savannah reflects the city's role as a regional innovation hub. Tech incubators, coding boot camps, and venture capital firms cluster together, creating an ecosystem that supports innovation. But Kenya is not alone. Nigeria's Lagos is often called Africa's startup capital. Egypt has emerged as North Africa's tech powerhouse. Rwanda is investing heavily in digital infrastructure. South Africa continues to anchor a sophisticated tech market. Across the continent, innovation hubs are multiplying. Governments are beginning to recognize that digital technology is not just an industry, it is a development strategy. Some are investing in fiber optic networks, digital ID systems, and startup-friendly regulations. Africa's digital transformation is not happening in isolation. Global tech giants are investing in the continent. International investors view Africa as one of the last major untapped digital markets. But Africa is not just a market, it is a partner. Innovations born out of necessity, like mobile money, are influencing global fintech models. African startups are expanding internationally. Cross-border trade within Africa is gaining momentum under the African Continental Free Trade Area. The digital economy is reshaping Africa's position in the global system, from resource exporter to innovation hub. For decades, Africa was described as the future. That future is arriving faster than many expected. The digital economy is creating jobs, attracting investment, empowering entrepreneurs, and connecting communities. This transformation is not uniform. It is uneven, dynamic, and still unfolding. But its direction is clear. In bustling co-working spaces in Lagos, in coding classrooms in Nairobi, in fintech boardrooms in Cairo, and in rural villages receiving mobile payments for crops, a new Africa is emerging. One defined not by scarcity, but by ingenuity. The explosion of Africa's digital economy is more than a technological shift. It is a generational turning point. It represents a continent rewriting its own story through innovation, connectivity, and ambition. And this is only the beginning.